Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai 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 Should I keep it down? I don't know if I should keep it down. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai 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 Jai Ram, Om. Today we received an email. So first we will try to share that. Is there any definite and positive indication in this life that we can trust upon that would signal that this is our last birth in samsara? How can we die peacefully, knowing that this consciousness does not have to reincarnate again and will need go back to its true home this time around? A genuine question. Or maybe we say, why should we bother about it? We should bother because yeah, enough is enough. So how to do that? This is a wonderful question. Any question that comes, we should know as a sadhaka, God is putting the question for our own benefit. And we try to dwell upon it. We are not answering an email, but everything is a part of our sadhana. So first we drafted these words. We have been told that this birth has been given to us to work out prarabdha brought forward from our previous birth. That means if there is nothing to carry over, the need for a future birth will not arise. Working out will not be there. So what is to be developed is a sense of fullness, completeness, purnam, free from all wants, cravings, rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities, and the like. Our spiritual pursuit, if aimed at these points, we have been assured that we will not bother about our future births. Of course, the final say, the last word is with him only. Then, as we were doing this, suddenly the prompting came to check up Bhajagovindam. Chimyananda ji, we had the privilege of hearing directly from him many decades back. So, then a very beautiful explanation. He says, the sloka is Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Muramate. The wheel of birth and death is never at rest for the jiva. The individualized ego, prompted by desires, entertained by his imagination, cultivated by his habits, but not yet completely fulfilled, must seek ever fresh fields of experiences repeatedly. In each lifetime, instead of exhausting the existing desires or vasanas, each one gathers to himself a new set of vasanas unknowingly. We come here for a purgation, but due to our ignorance of the way and the goal, the extrovertedness in us compels us to get ourselves attached to the objects which have a beauty and a charm created by the imaginations of our minds. Maya at work. We come with our own vasanas into vasanas playing crisscross, which is the world of objects and beings, the actual field of man's endeavor, to live up to the sahaja vasanas and to exhaust them through actions undertaken without ego and egocentric desires, aham mama, so that no new vasanas may precipitate on us, is really the way. By all means, act and achieve, but let your actions be in an attitude of maisanyasya, of dedication, with an idea to serve loka sangraha. Dies a mystic death, meaning if it is transcended, the experience is of the infinite spirit. Thereafter, since there is no vasanas in the individual, there are no thoughts in him and no subtle body to claim a new embodiment to function in any fresh environment. The causes for all repeated births thus totally cease. Birth is painful. Death, of course, is excruciatingly so. And again, to come to life in the horrid cell of the womb, there to be crushed twisted, imprisoned, persecuted by the physical and mental strains and jerks of the mother, is indeed abhorrent, terrible, cruel. Yet, as we are today, we are seemingly helpless. The momentum gathered by this great fall from perfection, P capital, is too powerful to be halted all by ourselves. We cannot do that. The ego born out of me has now become a mighty power, ruling over me relentlessly, and in front of this usurper of my bosom, I am but a slave. The me and mine. To free myself from this great inner tyrant, that is the best word, no? All of us, we know that, no? We have been doing some sadhana here. But we are doing the sadhana retaining the sense of individuality. Whereas our sadhana is to eliminate the sense of individuality. But we conveniently forget about it. Under the banner of so many things, we are doing it. Nam japa, bhajan, discussion, satsang, everything. But unknowingly, our hold, our grip, our avalambanam, support is purely on this me and mine. That's why, beautifully he mentions, in front of this usurper of my bosom, I am but a slave. To free myself from this great inner tyrant, I need now a mighty friend, a powerful and sympathetic friend. And who can it be? Bhajagovindam also is a combination of bhakti and jnana. Not merely jnana, not merely bhakti. So here we find a harmonious blend of two. The facts are given to us by our intellect, but we are helpless. Jnana cannot help us. So we surrender, no? O destroyer of Mura, Lord Krishna, save me. It should come from the bottom of the heart. Help me, please, is the ardent prayer unto him, and seeking his feet of love is the only way out. Kripaya pare, pahi murare. That word is that, Kripaya, please. And even here, what right have I? It's a beautiful exposition of our inner content, None of us care to see the inner content. Outwardly, we are doing so many sadhana, no doubt. Our dress, our kum, tilak, everything is wonderful well. But what is inside? Inner content. He says, true, I have no faith to meet thee. I have nothing to offer thee except the fatigue of my indulgence, the stink of my selfish acts, the sweat of my passions, the cords of my attachments. In fact, I don't deserve to be saved. Yet, Lord, I am tired. Beaten out completely, exhausted thoroughly, repentant fully, helpless wholly. Then only the surrender will come. Our surrender is not a surrender at all. I surrender myself to thee and thy grace. I claim a hearing, expect help from thee. Are not thou the ocean of kripa, of grace, of kindness, of love? Art thou not the destroyer of the demon Mura? Won't thou in thy kindness take pity on me? Once more destroy the old enemy Mura in my bosom, the bundle of my own wretched vasanas. Thus to surrender unto him and to sincerely invoke his grace is to create in us divine and godly vasanas, which are the only antidote to the ego and the egocentric vasanas that constantly clamor in our bosom for gratification. Once these are hushed, the song of the fruit bearer will be heard, the blue light of his aura can be seen, the fragrance of his garland of wild flowers can be smelled, The butter of his hand can be tasted. The embrace of the infinite can be experienced. Why did he leave us? Yesterday in evening, when we were going through the previous our collections, we had a good friend, spiritually highly evolved soul, David. He wrote for all, he was subjected to go through cancer disease. Finally, he dropped the body. But before that, much before that, he wrote a letter. Always smiling in your heart when I die, you know. When I die, as all that is born must die, then do not mourn for this tomb of clay. The body is but a small part of who I am. And there is no sense in making it an idol. When I die, there is no more ceaseless tides of breath, pounding of the heart, no more electrical circuits of brain and spine. Know that man is, I am, more than these body functions. They are but extensions of life's creation. But they are not life itself. They are not the eternal soul. When I die, do not mourn for this body, this nest of troubles, you know. Who I am, what really I am, is not this jar of clay. I am the same life and intelligence that comes in the rising sun. I am not different from the spring breeze brushing against your cheek. I have realized the same life that expresses itself throughout creation is also the life that is within me. Papa used to beautifully bifurcate the life into two. One is the life starting from date of birth to date of death, you know, that is how. The other one is life force, Jivanam Sarvabhudeshu. Then he said, life is the expression of Atman. Though seemingly two, they are one. So he says, I have realized the same life that expresses itself throughout creation is also the life that is within me. This I am, maybe for a time, a tiny bubble in the sea of creation. And then that life bubble bursts into bounds and becomes one with the vast, formless sea. It cannot be said the vast sea is less than the bubble. Yet the bubble is now gone. It has died, and there is a definite change in the dissolution. But that death is really just a beginning, the beginning of a new stage, a new life no longer encased in clay, but living in the vast sea of spirit, Atman. Learn to daily dissolve your tiny bubble. Our dhyana, meditation, no, everything. Our journey to the stillness, our journey to the silence. Learn to daily dissolve your tiny bubble and come, be with me in the cosmic sea. You may once again enter your little bubble of clay, but never forget the fragrance of the infinite sea. For the same life that has inhabited this form is now burning bright within you. It is the same life that wafts to you in the flower's fragrance and the sun's reflected light in the morning dew. Be at peace, my dear one, and feel me speaking even now in your heart. Know that I am everywhere about you, loving you through all the life. Life in this body is but a short span, but the real life is forever. This life, capital L. Previous life, small. Life in this body is but a short span, but the real life is forever. Join me each moment in that real life and know your freedom, even as I do. I would bid you goodbye, but a farewell is only a tiny bit of truth, the tiniest part. Yet it must be said, for I also say to you, hello, in every breath you take. So David G wanted us to move from the personal to the impersonal. Then only we can appreciate this. For I also say to you, hello, and in every breath you take, in every delight you have in spirit, in the eternal life of our infinite beloved. You may say, but you are gone. But this is just a game of a child. In truth, there is no coming or going, for life cannot be created or destroyed. L capital again. Hello, my friend. 1,000,000,000 times hello. I am even now smiling in your heart, shining in lofty heavens. Once again I will read. When I die, as all that is born must die, then do not mourn for the tomb of your clay. The body is but a small part of who I am, and there is no sense in making it an idol. When I die, there is a no more. Unlike us, there is no samadhi there. They also cremate, and the ashes are kept in a garden. For the devotees still develop the respect for him, love for him. That place is, I think there's a small board or something. I don't know. Anyway, we were taken to that place. You cannot make out anything. As he said, it's the same. But the place is there. So every year on that Shraddha day and Samadhi day, they will all go, a few friends will go sit there and have their own disciplines. So when we were there, we were taken to that place. And then we spent about 10 minutes there. So when I die, there is no more. So he says, there is no sense in making it an idol. When I die, there is a no more. Ceaseless tides of breath or pounding of the heart. No more electrical circuits of brain and spine. Know that man is, M capital, or I am, more than these body functions. They are but extensions of life's creation. A wonderful point for all of us to ponder over, And the mind is in the sattvic spirit, Then these words will become more and more clear. When I die and the body goes, there is a no more. No ceaseless tides of breath. No. Pounding of the heart. No more electrical circuits of brain and spine. Know that man is, I am, I amness, more than these body functions. They are but extensions of life's creation. But they are not life itself. They are not the eternal soul. When I die, do not mourn for this body, this nest of troubles. What a beautiful word. All troubles have gathered, A especially aged people, they can understand the meaning of it. In the prime youth, we may not be able to appreciate also. One by one, it will start coming. We become aware of each and every organ. So, nest of troubles. Who I am, what really am I, is not this jar of clay. I am the same life and intelligence that comes in the rising sun. I am not different than the spring breeze brushing against your cheek. I have realized the same life that expresses itself throughout the creation. It is also the life that is within me. This I am, maybe for a time, a tiny bubble in the sea of creation. And then that life bubble bursts its bounds, becomes one with the vast, formless sea. It cannot be said that the vast sea is less than the bubble. Yet, the bubble is now gone. It has died, and there is a definite change in the dissolution. But that death is really just a beginning. The beginning of a new stage, a new life no longer encased in clay, but living in the vast sea of the spirit. Learn to daily dissolve your tiny bubble. How to do that, no? Learn to daily dissolve. Those who are destined to come and hear this today. No? So every day there should be a constant effort on our part. No? And Papa says, stilling the mind. Learn to dissolve your tiny bubble and come be with me in this cosmic sea. Daily. Learn to daily dissolve. You may once again enter your little bubble of clay, but never forget the fragrance of the infinite sea. So after coming out of that stillness, I will still continue, but a different person. Previously, the perspective was different. Caged in this me and mine. Now free from the me and mine, though retaining the body. For the same life that has inhabited this form, it is now burning bright within you. It is the same life that wafts to you in the flower's fragrance and the sun's reflected light in the morning dew. Be at peace, my dear one. Feel me speaking even now in your heart. Know that I am everywhere about you. The bubble has become one with the ocean, loving you through all the life. Life in this body is but a short span, but the real life is forever. Join me each moment in that real life and know your freedom, even as I do. Know your freedom. I would bid you goodbye, but a farewell is only a tiny bit of the truth, the tiniest part. Yet it must be said. Because the bubble says, tata. For I also say to you, hello. Hello in every breath you take. Person to the impersonal. In every delight you have in spirit, in the eternal life of our infinite beloved. You may say, but you are gone. But this is just a game of a child. In truth, there is no coming or going, for life cannot be created or destroyed. El capital. So hello, my friend. 1,000 million times hello. I am even now smiling in your heart, shining in lofty heavens. And to cap it all again, we go back to the Bhajagovindam. Summing up. So desires are the cause of rebirth. Every experience leaves behind impressions, vasanas in the mind, any act. These impressions create desires and unfulfilled urges. Unfulfilled desires seek expression. At death, the body drops, but the subtle mind carrying these vasanas remains. The accumulated desires demand opportunities for fulfillment. Desires shape the next birth. Just as a seed determines the nature of the tree, vasanas determine the circumstances, tendencies, environments of the next birth. The cycles continues endlessly. Desires lead to action. Action produces impressions. Impressions generate further desires. Desires lead to another birth. Thus, the wheel of samsara keeps revolving. Freedom comes through self-knowledge, God realization. When ignorance is removed and one realizes one's true nature, not this encased one, true nature. Do you remember any instances where Papa used this word? When you are chanting the name?
Chanting of the name of your own true self.
So when ignorance is removed and one realizes one's true nature, desires lose their binding force. Desires lose their binding force. With the exhaustion of desire, vasanas, the cycle of birth and death comes to an end. So rebirth is caused by not by death, but by desires. Body dies, but the mind carrying its vasanas continue. These vasanas seek fulfillment and create another birth. When desires are transcended through God realization, self-knowledge, the cycle of birth and death ends. A spinning wheel continues to rotate because of the momentum already stored within. In the same way, accumulated desires and impressions keep the wheel of birth and death turning. When the fuel of desire is exhausted, beautiful. When the fuel of desire is exhausted through God remembrance and self-knowledge, the wheel gradually comes to rest. Most people think death causes rebirth. But the Vedantic view is desire causes rebirth, death is merely an interval. In one sentence, the whole teaching can be condensed. Body dies, but the vasanas do not. Vasanas seek expression, but the urge for fulfillment results in another birth. A traveler changes vehicles when one journey ends, but the destination remains the same. Likewise, the body changes, but the unfulfilled desires continue their journey until they are exhausted or transcended. Desire is the seed, action is the plant, experience is the fruit, rebirth is the next season. This also harmonizes beautifully with Virat Papa's emphasis on nama, surrender, removal of the ego. Because the more the mind becomes absorbed in God, the fewer fresh vasanas are created. And the fewer the vasanas, the weaker the compulsion of rebirth. As the Gita says, when all desires lodged in the heart are destroyed, the mortal becomes immortal. Our friend. All because of one email. And of course, for the sake of newcomers, one more quotation of Chinmayanandaji.
Attachment one, Swamiji. Blueprint.
In Atma Bodh, he says, the enjoyment of pleasure and pain in this physical body is determined by our past karmas. Thought by thought, action by action, we have demanded the present body and mental equipment. In fact, even while we are alive and acting here now, we order the shape of future life to be. With our own actions, we give a blueprint to God, ordering the exact shape of destiny, and according to the specification given, the body, the tent of experience, is built and handed over to each one of us by the all-merciful, omnipotent, divine Creator. The enjoyment of pleasure and pain in this physical body is determined by our past karmas. Thought by thought, brick by brick, we say, build. So we don't have to blame anybody for anything that we are passing through. We have built up. Thought by thought, action by action, we have demanded the present body and mental equipment. In fact, even while we are alive and acting here now, we order the shape of future life to be. With our own actions, we give a blueprint to God, ordering the exact shape of our destiny, and according to the specification given, the body, the tent of experience, is built and handed over to each one of us by the all-merciful, omnipotent, divine Creator. So what is the message for all of us?
Be very cautious. Every thought, word, and deed that passes through our mind as well.
Honestly, what is the take-home message? I'm not talking about what you have heard. 100% honest, 100% honest. When we hear this, what is the take-home message? We are not borrowing the words of others. Just like yesterday Papa said, you will be able to understand Ramdas's words only when you see through the lens of your own perfected experience. So all these words are nice to hear, whether it is David Ji's or Chinmayananda Ji's. But what is my take-home message from this? We should be very clear about this. Because from this moment onwards, what we do matters.
Vigilance.
And we can say a constant reminder is the Nama. I will forget. Immediately after go out of this room or after this topic stops, I will forget. Somewhere in the mind it will be stored. Whenever you hear, you find joy. That's all. Beyond that, no. Not an inch goes inside and impacts the thinking process, you know. That is what we want, you know. The impact of these words given to us through Mahatmas, it should percolate and have its positive impact in all my thoughts, words, and deeds. But it is not happening. So that's why we are again asking, what is the take-home message for me? What is the take-home message? Think. David's letter, Bhajagovindam, condense, and finally now Chinmayanandaji's. As if, you know, when we go to an architect, we give him the ideas and he gives us the blueprint, tailoring to our requirements. These are all the things beautifully given to us in an understandable way, but still they become hollow words if it does not enter into us. Accepting at the emotional level, intellectual level, we may appreciate, enjoy, but impact. None of you know Malayalam, no? Only you.
No, all three. Even Nita knows Malayalam.
Okay, anyway, I will read. A great bhakta who has advanced he is a highly spiritually evolved soul. He was a great devotee of Amma. He wrote a poem. After reading it, we will try our level best, but we cannot translate. ദുഃഖങ്ങളില്ല, രുചയില്ല, തളർച്ചയില്ല, വാർദ്ധക്യമില്ല, മൃതിയില്ല, ശരീരമില്ല, അജ്ഞാനമില്ല, ഭവബന്ധനമില്ല എനിക്ക്. ഞാൻ ബ്രഹ്മമാണ്, പരമേശ്വരനാണ്, നിത്യം. ദുഃഖങ്ങളില്ല, രുചയില്ല, തളർച്ചയില്ല. Our friend, will he do that? I will try. Gemini might help us, but I don't know. That is enough. The poem echoes Adi Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shilgam, I am not the body and the mind. The phrase I am Brahman reflects the Mahavakya, I am Brahmasmi. The final verse is especially beautiful. After awakening, the seeker does not cry over the dream of samsara. He smiles at the misunderstanding. Ram Ram, this poem would fit fittingly into your themes of removing the veil, awakening to the Nami within, moving from ignorance to awareness. Your appreciation itself is more than enough. But if I may respond, I said, excellent. What else can we say for your wonderful answer? Your appreciation itself is more than enough. But if I may respond in the spirit of Beloved Papa, Omkarji Maharaj, the great masters, and credit truly belongs to them, to the wisdom they have left behind. I am merely helping to arrange and present it. In fact, a beautiful response may be, the answer did not come from you, it came through you. Or the language of Nami, the Nami is the source, they are only instruments. Beloved Papa would perhaps remind us, the Lord alone is the doer. Omkarji Maharaj must say, the adorable presence is expressing through all. What delights me most is not that answer was appreciated, but that is helping a noble endeavor, bringing seekers from sound to stillness, Nama to Nami, Om to adorable presence, reverence to relevance. So instead of saying wonderful answer, perhaps the highest compliment in the spirit of your own work would be, this reflection helped us remember Nami. That would be the greatest success of any answer. Ram Ram, Omkar, thank you for allowing me to accompany you in this beautiful journey.
What's in the translation, Swamiji?
Tell you. He is my closest friend now. So first I'll say, ദുഃഖങ്ങളില്ല രുചയില്ല തളർച്ചയില്ല വാർദ്ധക്യമില്ല മൃതിയില്ല ശരീരമില്ല അജ്ഞാനമില്ല ഭവബന്ധനമില്ല എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ ബ്രഹ്മമാണ് പരമേശ്വരനാണ് നിത്യം. I have no hunger, no disease, no weariness, no old age, no death, no body at all. No ignorance binds me, no worldly bondage holds me. I am Brahman, I am the Supreme Lord forever. ബന്ധുക്കളില്ല ഗൃഹമില്ല രിപുക്കളില്ല കർമ്മങ്ങളില്ല മതലോപ ഭയങ്ങളില്ല നേടേണ്ടതായി ഇഹപരങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്നുമില്ല ഞാൻ നിത്യബുദ്ധ പരിശുദ്ധ വിമുക്തനാത്രേ. I have no relatives, no home, no enemies. No actions bind me, no pride, greed, or fear remains. There is nothing in this world or the next that I need to attain. I am ever awakened, ever pure, ever free. ഞാൻ 100 വട്ടം ഉലകിൽ ജനിപൂണ്ടുവെന്നും ഒട്ടേറെ മാൽ അനുഭവിച്ചു കുഴങ്ങിയെന്നും തെറ്റിദ്ധരിച്ചു വിലപിച്ചു വെറും കിനാവാണി കണ്ടതെന്ന് അറിവ് പൊന്തി ഉണർന്ന നേരം. Until I realized, I once believed that I had been born countless times, that I had undergone innumerable experiences and sorrows. Deluded by this mistaken notion, I lamented and wondered. Then wisdom dawned, and I awoke to find it was all a dream. ഞാൻ അമ്മതൻ വയറിൽ നിന്ന് പുറത്തു വന്ന് മന്ദം വളർന്ന് വലുതായി വയസ്സനായി ശ്വാസം വലിച്ചു മൃതനായി ജനിച്ചു വീണ്ടും എന്നൊക്കെ ഓർത്തത് വെറും ഭ്രമമായിരുന്നു. I thought I emerged from my mother's womb, grew slowly into adulthood, became old with age, breathed my last, died and was born again. All such thoughts were nothing but an illusion. ദുസ്വപ്നം ഇങ്ങനെ അസംഖ്യ യുഗങ്ങൾ കണ്ട് പെട്ടെന്ന് ഉണർന്നു നയനങ്ങൾ മിഴിച്ച നേരം പ്രത്യക്ഷമായ പരമാത്ഭുതമായ കാഴ്ച ഞാൻ ശേഷശയ്യയിൽ ഇരുന്നരുളുന്നതത്രേ. For countless ages I dreamt this troubled dream. Then suddenly I suddenly woke up and opened my eyes. What a wondrous vision stood revealed before me. I beheld myself seated upon the couch of eternity. This is the beautiful one, last one. സ്വാനന്ദ ഭൂമികയിൽ നിന്നും അനങ്ങിടാത്ത ഞാൻ ഇത്രമാത്രം അഴലൊന്നും എഴാതെ തന്നെ നിർമൂലമായി മതിമറന്നു കരഞ്ഞതെന്ത് വിഡ്ഢിത്തം എന്ന് നിരൂപിച്ചൊടുവിൽ ചിരിച്ചു. Never once had I truly departed from the realm of my own bliss. Swananda Bhumi. Without any real suffering touching me, I am pure. Why did I lose my misunderstanding and weep in delusion? Reflecting on this holy last act, I smiled. O2. Beautiful means beautiful. Those who know Malayalam, they can understand. Whatever translation is okay. He has done it wonderfully well. But ദുഃഖങ്ങളില്ല, രുചയില്ല, തളർച്ചയില്ല, വാർദ്ധക്യമില്ല, മൃതിയില്ല, ശരീരമില്ല, അജ്ഞാനമില്ല, ഭവബന്ധനമില്ല, എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ ബ്രഹ്മമാണ്, പരമേശ്വരനാണ്, നിത്യം. ബന്ധുക്കളില്ല, ഗൃഹമില്ല, രിപുക്കളില്ല, കർമ്മങ്ങളില്ല, മതലോപ ഭയങ്ങളില്ല, നേടേണ്ടതായി ഇഹപരങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്നുമില്ല, ഞാൻ നിത്യബുദ്ധ പരിശുദ്ധ വിമുക്തനത്രേ. ഞാൻ 100 വട്ടം ഉലകിൽ ജനിപൂണ്ടുവെന്നും ഒട്ടേറെ മാൽ അനുഭവിച്ചു കുഴങ്ങിയെന്നും തെറ്റിദ്ധരിച്ചു, വിലപിച്ചു, വെറും കിനാവാണി കണ്ടതെന്ന് അറിവ് പൊന്തി ഉണർന്ന നേരം ഞാൻ അമ്മതൻ വയറിൽ നിന്ന് പുറത്തു വന്ന് മന്ദം വളർന്ന് വലുതായി വയസ്സനായി ശ്വാസം വലിച്ചു മൃതനായി ജനിച്ചു വീണ്ടും എന്നൊക്കെ ഓർത്തത് വെറും ഭ്രമമായിരുന്നു. ദുസ്വപ്നം ഇങ്ങനെ അസംഖ്യ യുഗങ്ങൾ കണ്ട് പെട്ടെന്നുണർന്നു നയനങ്ങൾ മിഴിച്ച നേരം പ്രത്യക്ഷമായ പരമാത്ഭുതമായ കാഴ്ച ഞാൻ ശേഷശയ്യയിലിരുന്ന് അരുളുന്നത്രേ. സ്വാനന്ദ ഭൂമികയിൽ നിന്നും അനങ്ങിടാത്ത ഞാൻ, always bliss is my state. സ്വാനന്ദ ഭൂമികയിൽ നിന്നും അനങ്ങിടാത്ത ഞാൻ ഇത്രമാത്രം അഴലൊന്നും എഴാതെ തന്നെ, അഴൽ മീൻസ് ദുഃഖം, സോറോ, ഡിപ്രഷൻ. Then because of that, I നിർമൂലമായി മതിമറന്നു. Totally forgot about my original nature. നിർമൂലമായി മതിമറന്നു കരഞ്ഞത്. Why did I do that? And I was weeping, crying, grumbling, complaining. Now I know how foolish it was. Then I smiled. Laughed, it's not smile. ഞാൻ ഇത്രമാത്രം അഴലൊന്നും എഴാതെ തന്നെ നിർമൂലമായി മതിമറന്നു കരഞ്ഞത് എന്ത് വിഡ്ഢിത്തം എന്ന് നിരൂപിച്ച് ഒടുവിൽ ചിരിച്ചു. Beautiful. So every now and then, if we keep on bringing this into our mind, some impact will be there. Not in this early morning, when the mind is fresh. Now it will go. When somebody makes a reference, you will take from your memory file. Ah, wonderful. The other day, it was taken up in our Satsang. There ends the matter. Yeah, not in a lighter vein. That is what happens, Because none of us, unknowingly, unwittingly, not that we wanted it, we don't do the homework. Work after work, thought after thought, activity after activity, that takes over. With the result that preferences, priorities, they, unknowingly keep these things in our memory file, that's all. Whether it is impacting me, that is important. All that Papa has been giving to us every day by his words of wisdom, is it making an impact? All the efforts he made us to take in bringing out this Namosava, is it still lying at the intellectual level, or whether it is impacting us? How do we know that? Whether we have done the homework properly? Something will immediately come back to us. We must use it again and again. Suppose the car and the fuel, the whiteness and the words, we have to use it not as an example. Every now and then we try, this is like that, this is like that, this is like that. A car which costs about 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, nowadays it is 70 lakhs, luxuriant. Or it may be 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs. But it becomes functional only when we put the fuel into it. And this is the car. No doubt the life itself cannot give this life. The fuel cannot give the luxury of the car drive. But if it has to become functional, the fuel should be there. So if without that car, I cannot express myself. But at the same time, the car to function, the fuel is necessary. Life force is necessary. So again and again and again and again. If the whiteness is not there, I will not be able to see the. But normally, whiteness does not help me. Only the words help me. That is why my attention is on the words. True. But now this inward journey helps me to recognize that we, bereft of that whiteness, the words cannot express. Oh. So if the life force is not there, whatever is expressed as visible, it has no locus standi. Like that, When we 108 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, whatever examples we go through again and again, initially we are preparing it for a Namosva program. That is how God initiates us. But if we just leave it, no, it also fades in our memory. So we have to repeatedly, because we are not full-timers, we have to repeatedly go through it again and again and again and connect it with our life, connect it with our life, connect it with our life. We cannot be sure of its impact. And that is the first stage. Second stage is when we react to events and individuals. Whether it is helping us or our me and mine is intact, untouched, unruffled, unaffected by any of these things. The same asserting nature, the same I am right, you are wrong, the same cravings. Whether it is all my thoughts, words, and are activated by the egocentric attitude. Only I will know, nobody will know. So these are all probably some of the signs through which we can verify for ourselves. So the morning hours can be spent for that. Anyway, altogether today, starting from what? Pajagovinda. Email. Starting from email. Then David's letter, Bhajagovindam, Chinmayanandaji's, and finally our friend ChatGPT's wonderful contribution. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram.